Hello, my astrology friends and family. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial here with the October 2022 video horoscopes for each of the 12 signs. And I'm calling October the month of the turning point month. Why is that? Because three planets are turning direction. At the beginning of the month, Mercury is turning direct in Virgo. Later on, Pluto is turning direct in Capricorn. Into towards the end of the month, on the 23rd, Saturn is turning direct in Aquarius, and at the very end of the month, the last 3 days, Mars is turning retrograde in Gemini. Crazy stuff. Why is that? When planets are turning direction, and so many at the same month, within 30 days, 4 planets, guys, are gonna turn direction. It's a pivotal time when events in our life also turn around, when events in the world also start changing. You'll see it will make a big difference this month. And the month ends with a big bang. First starts with Mercury turning direct, Pluto, Saturn, usually planets turning direct lead to things improving or becoming easier, more according to plan, not needing so much effort. So in many areas of your life, in at least 3 or 4 areas of your life, the beginning of the month up to the 20th, 24th, 5th, there will be things that becoming easier gradually, you'll notice. And in the world as well. But at the end, Mars is turning retrograde. This is when things become a bit more complicated for the whole world. And an eclipse. Eclipses always are a bit of a crisis period. And I'm going to talk a quick summary of what this means for the whole world. And then we're going to go into the 12 signs. But before I go, I want to make an announcement that we're making a big discount on all courses of the late great astrologer Nicola Stojanovic, who passed away last year. He is the most incredible astrologer with the most precise predictions I've ever seen. What we're going through right now, he predicted it on videos. The proceeds will go to his daughter, who is trying to continue his work and is trying to bring out more books that he was ready to publish. Hopefully this will help her with her work in more classes that he did. But the only classes that are ever available from Nicola Stojanovic, with the most incredible astrology method that I've seen, that he developed himself with precision that people thought he was psychic, is and very easy as well, is available only on astrolada.com, and we're making 30-40% discount on his courses for the next couple of weeks to 3 weeks. But now let's continue. First, Mercury turns direct, and initially at the very beginning of the month in Virgo is becoming visible. It might be quite good for the markets. It might be quite good for anyone from the beginning of the month who wants to publish, to write, to be heard. With businesses will improve, complications connected to communications will improve, connected to papers, to documents, will learning, will become, and any kind of communications and relationships generally should improve with people around you. But very good for anything that is written, spoken, business, marketing, and so on, to publish, to put it out there. And then Pluto turns direct. Some internal or external power struggles will start getting resolved, especially with authority figures, because it's in the sign of Capricorn. And then on the 23rd, Saturn becomes direct. But it means Saturn is stationary the whole month. And pretty much Mars is also stationary. It looks like they're sitting in one space. Mars in Aquarius, Mars in Gemini, Saturn in Aquarius, holding a trine actually, which is good. So it might feel like some areas in your life are kind of stuck, that they're not moving, but it's almost like the quiet before everything turns around. There is like a peaking and it reaches a final level where it can't carry on like that, and then it reverses. But maybe because Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius, there might be certain important reversals, turning points about society, about any kind of restrictions imposed on society, that it might be like a final reversal of such matters. And that's the last time Saturn is retrograde, actually, in Aquarius, by the way. So any kind of restrictions imposed in society maybe should be reversed. Maybe some kind of new laws that can be created starting from the end of the month. and some kind of society overall, the economy. This is the economy. Any kind of limitations that were like restrictions and so on should be also reversed all over the world, hopefully. But then when having Mars turning retrograde towards the last 3 days, 4 days of October in Gemini, and retrograde means it starts moving backwards, and I'm hoping for retrograde planet also means things kind of being reined in a little bit. So I'm really praying that Mars in Gemini symbolizes fighting between brothers, fighting between neighbors, fighting between relatives. And we're seeing what's happening in Azerbaijan and Armenia, Russia and Ukraine. Neighbors versus neighbors, states after state for states. I hope that it's some kind of a reversal in that direction, or reining in, or turning of direction in the wars that are being led right now between brotherly countries. So maybe if one is taken over now, there might be a change of direction who is taken over when the planet reverses happens. Plus, over the next 3-4 months after that, Mars retrograde can deepen the problems, but kind of with more cautionary approach, while they're being re-examined, and a lot of truth starts coming out about those problems. But the big thing is also the eclipse that is happening on the 25th. Eclipse season is starting from October. You can be felt even before, a month before that. And there will be next one is in November. It's happening at the beginning degrees of Scorpio. New moon eclipse, something new with the south node. And it's very crisis prone, this eclipse, because it's in Scorpio, is the sign of crisis. Something sudden, unexpected, something that is removed from our lives, that is released because it's the south node, but only to make space for something new, which is Venus, indicated by Venus and the planet. And when there is a good planet, like we say, benefic with an eclipse, like Francis said, the ancients said that the malevolence or the difficulty of eclipses is decreased, or it's neutralized in some sense. So yes, it can create some crisis that happens around the world, but it will have like a silver lining in it, or in your own life as well. Early born Scorpios, early born Tauruses, early born Leos, early born or late, the late degrees as well of Libra can feel it. The late degrees of Aries can feel it. So some kind of a crisis, something new, but first you release something, so something new can be born, which is a Venus nature, like love or money or something that is brings happiness of some sort, material as well in some way. But the process involves releasing something first. Collectively, Scorpio is the sign of taxes. There might be, and this eclipse shows what will happen in the next 12 months. So maybe not immediately in October, but over the next 12 months, including 2023, there can be a big relief, possibly, or big changes in the tax system in certain countries, relief of debt of some sort of countries or of individual people, which I'm hoping for, or some big change that is starting to happen in the tax system. Hopefully not going up, but it's kind of a bit hard to say because it's with the south node. I'm hoping it's kind of less, and Scorpio also rules people's investments, finances, things like stock market, things like, and then there will be an eclipse in Taurus, which is again connected to prices, to money. So we're gonna see shakeups. We're already seeing it with the prices again, crisis with money, shakeups with that. And we're going to see investments or savings that they might be under some crisis there as well. It's just the beginning. And because Mars going retrograde, a lot of astrologers, financial ones, are expecting big financial crisis on the markets as well. I would advise you pension, K40, what was it? Where you keep your pension money or mutual funds or trusts or hedges. Be careful. If you can withdraw your money, can be a good advice. If you can withdraw your money from a bank to have some cash, might be a good idea as well, because there can be big surprises there. And I think it might not be like totally you lose all your money or whatever, because Venus is in this eclipse. But the following one in November is not that easy. And because Venus is in this eclipse, if something happens with your savings or mutual trusts and investments or pensions and so on. Maybe there will be some kind of a silver lining, like the government can compensate for those things, or I'm hoping for that. But just start, you see big shakeups in those areas. So there you go, guys. And Mars going retrograde in Gemini. I talked a lot about that. They can be a big event in October or around the retrograde, the stationary period, connected to civil unrest, connected to Gemini's society as well. It's the towns, the cities, it's the people in them, and Mars is unrest. It's more violence of some sort. Fingers crossed, just be safe, I think Mars holds a very good trine with Saturn the whole time. So the situation can be under control, even if it's very much escalating. Like I said, also the situation between brother versus brother, Russia, Ukraine, especially on the stationary period, which is the whole October, can be escalating, but it's kind of held under control still because of the trine of Saturn. But when Mars starts moving retrograde, I hope that there might be some pulling back, basically in November, December, a little bit of this re-examining of the situation. Fingers crossed again. I'm not God to tell you, I'm just here trying to unfold the meanings of what is going to be happening. All right, so now let's start with the 12 signs. Sun, Moon, Rising, October 2022. Libra, it's a very supportive month for you because most of the important action of the planet is happening in the so-called air signs, and you're an air sign. So it means that the big events will be supporting you, and the big other planets that are changing will be supporting you. And these are the self houses. So whenever there is a big action in the self houses, there is deep realization about oneself because planets are changing direction there in the self houses. There is usually improved self-confidence. A person feels luckier, more aligned to who they are, more aligned to their truth, and they realize what their truth is and what their path is more deeply. And because all the planets that are making big shifts like Saturn and Mars and the planets in Libra, they're in those self houses, and those they're considered lucky houses in astrology. I believe that Libras will find that things are happening easier for them this month, that things are aligning, they're at the right place at the right time. And now let's start gradually from the beginning of the month. First, Mercury is turning direct in your 12th house. So if there was some miscommunications, some problems with lost papers, information, some gossip, they all start clarifying, they all start improving from the beginning of the month. Or maybe something that was lost will come back to you, or will be, if there were some problems with lost papers, documents, cards, credit cards, information of some sort, websites, this all kind of stuff will be improved. And then Mercury continues into your sign, Libra, where it was retrograde for the bigger part of September. So if there were some complications with mercurial things, writing, speaking, communicating, with papers, documents, business of any sort, if there were some delays connected to arranging matters, business matters, or any mercurial work, which is more mental, and then all those things start being resolved. Or if you worked hard on something, preparing something during the retrograde period, that is connected to writing, speaking, business, calculations, communications, they again get resolved, or they start giving their results now for you to see. And things start moving smoother and smoother and easier for you, Libras. Mercury will be in your sign visible, so that's fantastic time. If you want to do anything connected to this month in October, connected to writing, to calculating, you can do a lot of mental work. You can do a lot of paper documents, and they go smoothly. They move forward quite well without a problem. Hello, baby girl. So don't worry, Mila. Can you leave because I'm recording? No.
Please make me salad.
I will make you a salad. Go ask Daddy, but Mommy's working now. And sorry about that. And anything connected to traveling, to documents, to papers will go very well. Also, any mental work, business work. Again, the whole October is very auspicious to do any of those things. And Venus will be also in your sign for a big part of the month. Even though it's invisible, you might not feel it so strong, but you'll feel kinder, sweeter, more agreeable. There can be more easy access to love, to relationships, to even becoming more attractive when Venus passes one sign. Things become easier. Please ask your daddy. Can you close the door after me? Thank you so much. Sorry about that, guys. And I see a little Venus beauty pass by. I wonder what that means. If you have any annoyances, I wish you for them that in October that they're as sweet as this little annoyance. And of course, there is a new moon in Libra as well, so you feel renewed. Some new beginnings can come to you during this month, some new directions, some new realizations about yourself that are going well and that you start, that you get inspired about. Because this month is very much about inspiration. All the inspirational houses are triggered from you, the third, the first, the fifth, the ninth. Again, I believe that inspiration will come if you have desire to do something new. You'll be helped by Mars, the planet of action, sending a trine to your sign, and you'll be helped by Saturn, the planet of perseverance. So if you start something new, Saturn helps you, Mars helps you, Saturn helps you, that this thing is lasting, that you do it by the book without rushing. And then the other big thing is that, and a lot of focus on you, like the light is on you in the first house there. The renewal of a physical energy, or your career, if it's your sun, is there, of your ideas, of your inspirations, or if it's your moon in Libra, of your personal private life, new beginnings. And Saturn also will start moving direct around the 23rd of October in your 5th house. If there were some blockages in your love life while Saturn was retrograde for the last few months, if there was some blockages in your self-expression as well, in your ability to enjoy yourself, in your ability to feel love, to give love and to receive love, if there were some karmic difficulties there with your children, if your children have been more difficult, then all of those things start getting resolved from the end of October when Saturn starts moving forward. Or if you worked hard on some creative project over the last few months, then you're going to start seeing the results of it unfolding in front of you with Saturn moving direct. Or if there were some complications in regards to your self-confidence, in regards to something hitting your ego and how you feel about yourself, and making you feel like you want to hide almost. When Saturn starts moving direct in the 5th house, you can kind of feel like an easing of those heavier circumstances. Or if there was more difficulties and more responsibilities that were blocking you from enjoying life, or if your children were more difficult, or some difficulties in the life of your children, they start getting unblocked as well, and your love life as well, and having fun. I'm not saying that you immediately start feeling, oh, great fun, because Saturn still stays in your 5th house. So it's still a little bit more blocking there, but at least it's not retrograde where it's much stronger anymore. And then the other big event is that Mercury is turning retrograde, is changing direction in your 9th house. And 9th house, and that again towards the end of the month, the last 3-4 days of the month. But it's changing direction the whole month, pretty much, of October. So there can be a big shift in your belief systems that are starting to change, your view of the world starting to change. Yes, some crisis can happen around the shifting of the direction of Mars, like some kind of a crisis situation or argument about your beliefs with others, or about other people's beliefs, or about what's happening in the world. That can be a topic of contention and more stress. But again, I think Mars is receiving a lot of good aspects in October, so I hope it's not gonna get worse after that. It's not going to lead to something very negative. Also, it can be time for something important happening in regards to foreign travel or traveling on long distance, as some kind of a preparation or some kind of change of the situation and plans connected to foreign travel, or something that requires a lot of your concentrated efforts and energy, or anything connected to higher education and knowledge. And when Mars goes retrograde, for basically mostly in November and December and part of January, some of you might question the direction of their life or of their future. The ninth house is where we plan our future, and based on our belief systems and based on our ideology, and because something will be changing there with the belief system, with the ideology, questioning and like existential questioning of the direction and the world events that can impact also your plans for the future, make you re-examine it during the Mars retrograde in your ninth house. Some of you might re-examine and have to change something in regards to what they're studying and learning, for example, educational degrees, or some of you might decide to pre-qualify and because of certain knowledge that they'll need, because ninth house also rules knowledge, that they'll need on the new path that their worldview is changing towards. And ninth house can mean busy activity and focused action in regards to legal matters, papers, traveling, documentations, import, export, matters connected to foreign countries and so on, or higher education, or really starting to study something very deeply that you can dive even deeper into during the retrograde period. Just be careful, because there can be some crisis situation with a figure that is a teacher figure or a father figure in your life. Yes, so that's some of the things that you have to be more careful about. But your beliefs are going to start changing your worldview, and you might start feeling very strongly about your belief system while re-examining some of the old ones when Mars turns retrograde. And then, of course, there is an eclipse on the 25th of October. I think the more difficult events are happening the last part of October. Mars turning retrograde, the eclipse. The eclipse is happening for you Libras in your second house. Actually, at the very beginning of the second house, the Sun, the Moon, and Venus will be there. So later born Libras can feel this eclipse like it's on them. So if you're born from maybe 25 degrees of Libra till 30 degrees, especially those born 28, 29, 30 degrees, can feel the eclipse right on them. Some life-changing event, personally. If it's their son, with the father, with important males in their life, with their health, or with the direction of their life, with their career, something fated, big. If it's the moon in those later degrees in Libra, with family, personal life, home, place of living in a big way. If it's your ascendant, later degrees in Libra, it might be connected with your own health, direction in life as well. Some powerful new beginning that appears, because it's a new moon eclipse. It's about something new. And because Venus is there, the ancients say that Venus takes away the negativity of the eclipse. So hopefully whatever this new beginning is, and even if it's like some crisis triggering it, it's not so, there is a silver lining to it, and it turns out for the best. But most other Libras will feel this eclipse more like into their second house, which is connected some big change with finances, with their resources, with their investments. I think like if the economy is something big is happening, Libra is going to feel it very strongly. So there might be the need for, because it's with the South now, to let go of something, to lose something. But again, there will be some silver lining there to release something that is in their possession, to sell something, I don't know. But there is a silver lining because the Venus there, and it's not going to be too, dramatic. But still there is a possible crisis there, or some big new beginning connected to finances, resources. And then the next eclipse will be in November. It directly affects your mutual finances and resources or investments with a partner. But that's for November to look at. And there you go, Libras. That's the most important events that are happening this month. Your planet is in visible Venus. So it's gonna join the sun. So there is like a kind of a new reprogramming that will be happening in October that you're going to feel again for all Libras. It's very much new beginning energy. But as I said, I very strongly believe that even though it's Saturn and Mars, two malefics, they're making a trine to your sign. So whatever things are coming, you can be more perseverant and harder working. And despite of difficulties, you would find a way from it and turn it into a positive. So you're kind of supported. So there you go. And Jupiter, most of the month, continues to be in your seventh house. Especially the early born Libras can really benefit from others, those that are the last 5 degrees, the first 5 degrees of Libra, 0 to 5 degrees Libras, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. They're really blessed by Jupiter in their seventh house the whole month, which is helping them expand, feel positive through relationships, new or even something good coming to them from a partner, from the past, and the life of the partner, or from someone they've known from the past, but some positive development there, improvement or development with collaborators or others, but something good coming to you from others. There you go. Thank you so much, Libras. And if you'd like to dive into this ninth house adventure of higher knowledge and learning that Mars is calling you towards, we're offering courses from the late Nicholas Stoyanovich at a discounted price, and the proceeds will go to his daughter who is trying to reconstruct a lot of his knowledge and materials that were never published. But for now, the only materials that ever exist from Nicholas Stoyanovich can be bought from Astrolada website, and we're offering it on a discount so we can help his daughter republish his books and release courses he hasn't released. Thank you so much.